Hi everyone, welcome to medical education and the study leave process. I felt it'd be a good idea to just show you briefly how to apply for study leave when you're in the trust. So this slide will cover how to apply and how to claim your study leave. The study leave journey. All doctors are entitled to study leave. There are different types of leave, such as study leave, the standard leave, aspirational and international leave, and taster weeks. I'll cover the standard leave in this presentation, which is anything under £1,200 and or on the study leave approval list. HA have a list of approved courses, and this here is the link to that for you to have a look at. So every time you apply, you must check this, and there is a question on the application for you to say whether or not you have checked it, so money can be returned to you. The application process is simple if you let it be. So a majority of queries are people that haven't completed the whole process, they've missed a bit or jumped ahead, or they're too late in applying, etc. All you have to do is fill out the application form, section 1, which there is a section 2, but section 1 is your bit, so it's your name, those sort of things. If you're a GP trainee, we need to know that because you do need to apply through St Helens, but for time only, you need to apply to us. All trainees need to submit a study leave form if they're taking time out, even if there's no costs involved. That way you get an approval letter for costs, or you can get an approval letter for time only. But at least that way you've got a receipt that you can have that time. The course details is typical. Select the type of study. Is it an exam? Because exams are guaranteed a day off for that. If it's a course, or if it's a presentation, or something like that. Course conference title. Exams are not funded. Is the course on the HE approval list? As I said before, the link will be on the form, so you can check that. If it is, you put yes. If it's no, you could possibly still have the time, but we wouldn't fund you for that. There'd be no costs involved. Please state which event title that falls under the approval course link above. So that when you look at the link, it will say if you're in anaesthetics and there's a course in that, there's a title that it will come under, and you just put that in there. Dates to and from, and then we add those dates to a spreadsheet so we know how many days you're having. All study leave should be taken pro rata, and it should be spread across the whole rotations, not just all in one. It wouldn't be allowed all in one. So if you're entitled to 15 days and you have 3 rotations, you should really have 5 thereabouts in each one. The course costs, the venue, accommodation if it's required, the costs for that, and underneath you can see there's a limit to how much you can have dependent on the area. If it's we're in Warsaw and there's a course in Leicester, we would expect you to drive there, but if it's in London or somewhere that will take a couple of hours, then overnight is considered. Travel costs, type of transport, first class will not be funded. Cars, if it's a cheaper option, will pay the mileage. And then the next bit is about allocate, which is the system we use for the rotas. You should be putting that or request that to go on allocate. Has the rota cover been arranged? You say yes or no. Provide the name of the colleague covering, things like that. And I believe you have to complete a swap form. This bit is under medical resourcing. It's not really us, but it's part of the application process. With this, I would say, remember, all study leave submitted must be accompanied by the course programme. If you submit the study leave on its own, it will get rejected at the first hurdle. If it's got the programme, great. We check that it's on the HEE site as well, and then if that's correct, then we'll carry on through the process. And when it comes to claiming any cost, all expenses must include the study leave approval letter and all receipts. That will cover just a little bit further on now. So this here, it's quite small, but this is the actual flow of what happens, and I'll just tell you as well. So a trainee completes a study leave application form, then they forward it on email to their clinical supervisor. Their clinical supervisor will then add their GMC number and the date. That's if they approve it. If they don't approve it, they reject it back to you. At this point, it's just between you and the clinical supervisor. Once the clinical supervisor has added their GMC and the date, you can either request that they forward it on to the study leave inbox with the programme, or you do it. My advice would be for you to ask them to send it back to you, and then you can send the 2 documents through to us. Once you've sent it through to us, we'll be down here. Once you sent it through to us, we will check everything's in order. That's medical education. If everything's in order, we then turn your email to Amber, and that's when medical resourcing pick it up and check allocate. They'll check allocators is all right and singing. If everything's been approved on there and it's on there, then they will change your study leave to green. If it isn't on there, they'll reject your study leave for you to resubmit at the beginning of the process again. So if you do get a rejection, you have to resubmit everything together, because once it's rejected, it's deleted. So if it isn't rejected and allocate is all good, it goes to green, and that's where medical education then will send you an approval letter. The approval letter needs to be uploaded like mentioned earlier, and it will tell you how much we've agreed to pay, which most of the time it's all of it, but if it isn't, it will tell you what we're agreeing to pay. So the study leave approval letter. The study leave approval letter will be sent when an application is successful. This needs to be uploaded onto the EASY system when you are claiming costs. If there's no costs involved, you don't need to claim anything. So you don't need to put it on EASY. EASY Expenses is a system used to claim study leave and mileage. This system is not a Warsaw system. Therefore, if you have any issues with the logins, you have to contact payroll. We can't help you with that. When you have got a login, you must update your study leave. You must upload your study leave approval letter and the receipts. If any of these are missing, your expenses will be rejected for this reason. PS, mileage is approved by medical resourcing, not medical education.